Hey, 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 it's Pastor Don. Good evening. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Listen, you've had, um, this is your second week. You had a week off. Um, we want to go back into our series, and I pray, God, that you did some soul searching as I did. I pray that you really just looked into your heart and your mind and researched areas of your life that you possibly have been pretentious. Remember, we talked about that. And we defined pretentious as attempting. Now, that word stood out in my mind big time today. Attempting. Attempting to impress by affecting greater importance than is actually possessed. Attempting to impress by affecting greater importance than is actually possessed. You know what that tells me? And this is not even, I didn't get this to our producers. Even the definition tells you that you're tripping. The definition even tells you that you're not being successful even in your attempt. You're attempting to impress. I'm going to leave that right there with you for a minute. Last time we were together, we read from the Amplified Bible. Today, I want to do Life Application Bible, and I'm going to do just that one verse, verse number 19, 1 John, the second chapter, verse 19, from the New Life Application Bible. Or the Life Application, I'm sorry, y'all, Life Application. And this is what it says. They went out from us, but they did not really belong to us. For if they had belonged to us, they would have remained with us. But their going showed that none of them belonged to us. I used as a thought, who you with. Who you with. One of the most important things, family, that we should do, we need to guard our love affair with God. We need to be guarding it. We need to guard our love affair with God. Guard it in such a way that nothing or no one can come in and cause us to walk contrary to our love for one another. And one of the ways, one of the things that comes against our love affair, let me put it that way, one of the things that comes against our love affair is the fact that we're chasing the world. Man, that's good all by itself. We're chasing the world. We're chasing the things of the world. We're chasing after people who are in the world. We're chasing after fleshly desires. And one of the most damaging things that could happen is that we as believers forget that God says that in the world you're going to have trials and tribulations. But if y'all would allow me just to put this in italic. In this world you're going to have, but you're going to have self desires. You're going to have urges to be a part of the clique. You're going to have urges to be a part of what's the new thing, you know. I wish that this sagging thing would have never come into existence. We were in Texas, and there was a grown man, a full-grown man in his 60s, if not 70s. It was in Texas, I'm sorry, it was in Los Angeles, in Long Beach. And this grown man came in the restaurant, and his pants was hanging off his hind part, and you can see, see his underwear. A grown, when are we going to come to the conclusion that we've outgrown chasing the world? we've outgrown it. We should have matured enough that chasing the world and chasing things of the world is not going to be advantageous to us. So today's point one, which if I could, I would call it problem number one. Yeah, let's call it problem number one. Man's inconsistency of the love of God, or the love for God. Man's inconsistency. We love God as long as things are going well. But the moment a storm comes, we then become, what should I say, questioners of God. We become naive to what his word has said. We become lost, if I may, because God, how could you love me and allow these storms to come in my life? And never do we ever give up. The truth of the matter is that a lot of the storms that come in our lives, we had everything to do with it. So if I said problem number one is man's inconsistency of the love of God, or love for God. Verse 15 says, do not love the world or anything in the world. Watch this. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Our inconsistency to love the Father. The heart of man is narrow. Y'all hear me? It's narrow and cannot contain both the love of the world and the love of God. It ain't gonna happen. Somebody, I'm 54, so I might be telling my age, but I did hear the song. Loving too is not easy to do. I don't even know who's singing. I want to say Johnny Taylor, but who knows? I'm not that old. But I do remember that song. But the Bible says you can't love two. You're going to love one and hate the other. That's just like we live like God is going to accept us in a lukewarm state. It's either hot or cold. There's no lukewarm. There's no middle place. There's no place that, you can, we'll get a little hot, we'll get a little cold, but he's going to accept, no, it's either hot or cold. It's either you're for him or not. Simple as that. You're not going to shout on this series. I'm sorry, I should have told you that earlier if you wanted to get ready to get your shoes on to shout. But I want to just talk my way through this series, if y'all will allow me. The world, listen to this, draws down man's heart from God. The attractions of the world draws down man's heart for God, so that the more the love of the world prevails, the more of the love of God diminishes or steps back. But let me say this to you. That's by choice. That's totally by choice. I got less than 2 minutes. We're going to walk slow. We're going to walk slow through this. 15 through 19. We're going to walk slow. So if I had to say, do I want to call point two, or do I want to call it problem number two? You can define that and put it how you want to. But problem number two is simply this. We live as if we didn't know worldly loves or lusts is not ordained of God. we act like we didn't know that God don't get down like that. We act like we're just totally oblivious to it. We act like that. We live like that. And I'm getting ready to get real ugly with some stuff when it comes to my feeling on some of the stuff I see. We live like it. We don't talk. We don't only talk like it. We post like it. I don't understand who you think is wanting to come and be a part of your church or your movement or your group, or your clique, 1 minute you're talking about how awesome God is and how much you love God, and the next minute you're posting pictures of your chest area. Ladies, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Then you're posting this about how it is to do this, that, and the other as it relates to church, and about this, that, and the other, and then the next minute you post a picture of you drinking some alcohol. That's why some folk don't want to have nothing to do with God, because they watch you and they watch me. If I have a slip of the tongue, if I behave not like God, all those kinds of things, we act like godly lusts, and the world of is cool. God cool with it. We all sin. Yes, sir. But you can still go to hell with that mentality of, well, we all sin. Well, when you gonna stop? When we gonna stop doing this stuff? I'm done. This is my last point. It's not of the Father to think like that, but it's of the world. Trust me, it is. Watch verse 16. For everything in the world, the cravings of the sinful man, the lust of his eyes, and the boasting of what he has and does, comes not from the Father, but from the world. God ain't got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. All right, y'all. That's part 2. We're going to work our way. That's verse 16. We stopped at 16. All right? We're going to work our way to 19, and we're going to be done with this series. But I want you to understand something. People of God, it's time to stop pretending. Stop playing with God. It's time for all of us. Now, I told y'all on the first part, I'm talking about from the pulpit to the back door, even in the doggone parking lot. Whatever we need to stop, because we're wasting valuable time, and I don't care what nobody say. God is on his way. Now, listen, here's a disclaimer I want to throw out to you. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. Stay out this heat. This ain't no joke right now, okay? Drink plenty of water. If you don't have to be outside, don't come outside, okay? I got to go. I'm over 2 minutes over my time. I love you. Remember, at the one, we're one family doing together what we cannot do alone. God bless you. Peace. Love you.